Just between us. Hey. Just between us. Hey.
Hello, I'm Allison Raskin. I'm a writer, mental health advocate, and the co-host of this podcast that's officially been a podcast for 5 years as of today.
Hi, I'm Gabe Dunn. I'm a writer, bisexual icon, wink, and I cannot believe it's been 5 years of this show.
Wow, I know. It's been 10 almost on YouTube.
I know. What are we going to do?
For YouTube, get naked. Just full nudity.
That's where we open our OnlyFans. Yeah. But it's like the most boring OnlyFans of all time. It's so boring.
I've got to connect there.
At OnlyFans?
Yeah, they reached out for me and Megan to be on OnlyFans.
Yeah, see, that would be interesting. Me and Allison, very boring.
Well, I could do some silly stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could like clean.
The feet.
Oh, the feet.
Well, I have to wait for my broken toe to heal.
Yeah.
That's somebody's interest.
It must be. The bruising is gone. The swelling is not.
Oh, you're like, hey guys, if you want thin toes over here, but if you want chubby little toes, get over here. Oh my God, you have something for everyone.
I do. Just like this show, I hope.
Woo!
Melissa, should you give you a fun intro?
Sure. My name is Melissa Diamond. I'm a writer, producer, director, and my panties are in a bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Metaphorically or physically?
Physically.
Yeah. Are you wearing a thong?
I never wear underwear.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
And I don't even know why I decided to put them on today, but I did. It was a huge mistake. One cheek is in, one cheek's out.
That's so funny. I literally wear like men's like brief boxer things. Like I'm wearing shorts under my shorts just in case I get pantsed.
Okay.
Always thinking, always trying to not get pantsed.
I'm fine with that.
This is a very special episode, which means that we're going to let it be free for the masses. It's not going to be behind the Patreon wall. You're going to get the whole episode because we love you. And for all of you that have been here since the beginning, thank you so much for listening. And for those of you that have come along the way, you were probably confused at first.
And we're videoing this.
We're videoing the whole episode and we're going to put it on YouTube. Head over to youtube.com/justbetweenus where we've actually been posting content regularly every week, but most people don't seem to know that.
Yeah. Did you see that we were talking about the podcast and then somebody commented, oh, wait, this is an actual podcast? Like they thought we were joking about it being a podcast. We
have a podcast that's 5 years old.
That we're currently on right now.
Yeah.
But if you want to listen or watch ad-free, there's also a Patreon.
There's also
Absolutely.
a Patreon at patreon.com/justbetweenus. The Patreon is basically how we keep this thing going.
Truly.
Because they have tried to stop us. They have tried to say, hey, don't make this anymore. And we've said, screw you. The fans will pay for this.
That's very true.
Chugging along.
But speaking of fans, we asked on the Patreon for some people to share some of their favorite memories. And I selected a few, which were, all of them were great, but, you know, there's a time limit. So our first feedback is from Caitlin, who writes, I have so many fond memories of listening to this show. I genuinely find it hard to narrow down. I adore listening to y'all laugh. I love when Gabe yells, Allison. And there was a moment in an episode, I can't remember, where Gabe said something about people who play the flute are red flags. And I laughed really hard because I'm a professional flautist.
I read that and I was like, I don't even stand by half of what I say. Why did I think people who play the flute are red flags?
My grandpa plays the flute. I'll have to ask his girlfriend.
Yeah.
If it's true.
What are her icks about him?
Caitlin finishes, I love y'all. You inspire and comfort me, and congrats on 5 years.
Woo! Can I do my best impression of Gabe saying Allison?
Yes, please.
Allison!
That's pretty good.
I'm going to try. Allison!
Yeah, but not
That was
anymore.
Too high.
Not anymore.
That was the OG. Okay. Allison!
What? Is that what I sound like now? That's dope as hell.
So another person, Brett, wrote in, every time Allison says something truly out of pocket and Gabe screams, Allison, it's my favorite thing.
That Serena that did that fake version of us on YouTube
Oh, yeah.
also had me yelling, Allison.
And our final comment from Annie. One of the hypotheticals where there's something about a fish, ? That says, mommy, mommy. I remember laughing out loud in my car at that.
Do you remember that one?
Not at all.
I think it was like something about like if the fish could talk, like you could eat the fish, but if the fish could say like talk, then
So
would you?
was Mommy part of the original or something I added during the discussion?
I feel that it was something you added.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I was here for that.
I don't think so. I don't have any memory of it, so.
I mean, it's twisted.
Yeah, for sure. Don't eat animals. Anyway, every animal has a mommy.
I
It's
understand
just something
that.
we should all think about.
And I'm still going to eat them.
All right.
Ooh.
And so because it's our special anniversary show,
Uh-huh.
we're breaking the mold a little bit.
Sure.
But we are being joined by an incredible guest.
Oh, yeah. We've got John Asante, if you remember. Remember John?
He was our very first producer. He helped create the show, helped shape the show. We bring him back in and grill him about his first impressions of us, memories, goofs. It's a hoot.
And he used to be on mic. So if you were listening back in the day, you will remember John.
And later in topics, we'll be talking about 5 years from now.
Oh, God.
Where will we be?
Terrifying.
I know. I'm afraid America won't exist. Instead of a traditional international question, we are going to share one follow-up to an international question that a listener wrote in so that we can get up to date with what happened after we answered their question. And then we're also going to share just a really lovely note that we got sent in 2022 that just makes me happy. So I'd like to share it.
Yeah.
But first, hit it! International question, international question, international question! All of our fans across the world.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is really beautiful.
Okay, so our first one that I'm going to read is from Jackie, who writes, Dear Allison and Gabe, I was listening to your podcast on my way to work this morning and was excited to hear you'd answered my question. I thought I'd touch base to let you know how things have turned out. TLDR, I'm ending it. So if you guys remember, this was the write-in about a woman who found out that her husband was having an emotional affair for years.
Wait, she wrote in to say, how do you forgive him, right? And then you and I were both like, no.
Well, I don't remember exactly how she phrased it, but like kind of what to do about this predicament and if she could forgive him kind of thing. So she writes, for the first 2 weeks after I found out about my husband's affair, I was mostly processing it and thinking about what to do. What was interesting was that only part of that thinking was about him and what he did and whether I could trust him again. The other part was about what my life might look like without him, and it was actually a pretty good life.
Hell yeah.
While I'd never really been a grass is greener type of person before this, his affair suddenly opened up a range of new possibilities for a life without him, and I was excited about a lot of those possibilities.
Hell yeah.
I felt a little guilty for even considering this. Shouldn't the decision be purely based on him and what he did? But after speaking to some friends and family, I got over that guilt pretty quickly. Love a good support system. Around the 2-week mark, which included a week away so I could get some space, I told him I wanted to end things. He got incredibly emotional, and seeing his reaction was probably the worst moment of my life. Whether he deserved it or not, I was causing someone I loved so much pain. But if I looked at the situation from a what is best for me perspective, the answer was clear: a future without him. I also booked a 5-week trip to South America to get some time away from it all, and I'm leaving next week. So it's been nice to have something to look forward to.
Jackie!
Incredible.
I love
Incredible.
This is a good follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next few days, we found a more friendly equilibrium, where he said he didn't want to give up on me, and I told him I didn't think I would change my mind. He asked me to hold off on a final decision until I got back from my trip, which I said I would do, but I already know it's over. A week later, I was borrowing his computer again. I needed to send some files to myself after getting my laptop back. And when I went to his email, the top email was to SJ, the other woman.
Yeah.
After he had supposedly broken things off with her. I opened it because he has lost all right to privacy at this point, and he said he wanted to arrange a time to see her in person in August when I'd be away.
Good God.
Oh, this man is the worst. I hate him so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
forget it.
When I saw this, I wasn't even hurt. A huge grin broke across my face. It's a strange reaction, I know, but after nearly 4 weeks of guilt and worrying about hurting him, I felt like this absolved me of any guilt or
It does.
responsibility for his mental or emotional well-being. He had been engaging in this affair for years and knew how much it had hurt me, and he was doing it again mere days after he said he wasn't giving up on me? My mind is blown.
No, he doesn't care about you. It's about him.
So even though it's only been a month since everything went down, I'm feeling really good about moving forward without him. I know there will be some logistical challenges around splitting assets and organizing the divorce, but I'm really optimistic about the future. While I'd made the decision by the time your episode aired, kind of a bummer for us, but oh well. It was helpful listening to your decision on it, both to hear your insights as well as to reflect on what a different place I'm in when compared to a month ago. Gabe, what you said about him trying to play different cards when I confronted him was spot on. One of the things he even said was that SJ was unhappy and felt bad about herself, and he felt like he was helping her by engaging in this relationship.
Gross.
Exactly.
It's so
Gross.
disgusting.
Listen, some of you guys write in and you're like, oh, Gabe was too harsh. Gabe, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. Look, Allison studied the human condition, okay? But she maintains a level of empathy that I just simply don't have. Okay? And that's why we're a good balanced team.
They write, I shut that one down very quickly. And as soon as he saw it wasn't working, he immediately changed strategies.
Uh-huh.
And Allison, I love how you distilled everything down to a question of, can I be with someone who is capable of this? And the answer is no. I don't want to be with someone who's capable of living a double life. Someone who can love me so much, yet can still do something like this because of how compartmentalized everything is.
Yep.
I'm going to listen to it again on the way home from work, but wanted to say thank you again and share some initial takeaways. Thank you for everything you do, Jackie.
You know what it was? It was that she was asking, could someone still love her and do this? And I was saying, no, he doesn't love you. He's a monster. And you were saying he might love you, but you have to think about, do you want to be with someone who has the capacity to do this?
Yeah.
So those are our two things, right? You're like, hey, think about what you want. Think about it doesn't matter if he loves you. He might, but what do you want? And I was like, he doesn't love you and he's a fucking monster.
What do you think has changed more since we started this podcast? Your gender or my ability to see nuance?
It's so true, though. It's so true. The fact that you're the one now being like, well, there's two sides is crazy.
I know. People did not see that coming. Okay, and so our other letter that I want to share is from Emily, and she sent it in November of 2022. And this is really just us rubbing our own backs, but what else is an anniversary show for?
Yeah, come on.
You should always get rubbed on an anniversary.
Goodbye, Melissa. It's been real. John's back.
No, it starts with him and it ends with me.
Hi, Allison and Gabe, but I know they're not reading this. Please send my regards. TLDR, I just wanted to write this email to chime in as one of your many years-long fans who you have helped in ways I could never fully articulate.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching you two as soon as you started making videos outside of BuzzFeed. At the time, I was probably 15 or 16 and
Good
still
God.
living at home in a really horrible, intense environment. Republican, now down the conspiracy rabbit hole, parents who hated each other but refused to divorce type environment. LOLOL. I had to force myself into grown-up mode way before I was ready and without some pretty key elements of parenting when it comes to relationships, communication, social justice, seeing other points of view. I was an unstable mess. Understandably, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that through trial and error, therapy, and lots of positive friendships and other relationships with mentors, romantic partners, etc., I have come a long way. I'm 24 now. It's crazy to be so close to where y'all were at the very beginning. But an undeniable part of my identity, self-perspective, and world outlook journeys have been your content through the years. From the very beginning, the contrast between your two characters on YouTube, I only say characters because you have talked about playing extreme versions of yourself, helped me to learn to think about different points of view without them being blatantly pointed out to me. The exaggerated representations of personal flaws you both talked about having or showed in sketches helped me to accept those types of flaws in myself. If people as lovely as you two can have such flaws, I guess I can too.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna start crying.
I'm crying. Oh my God.
I genuinely believe your reflections on your teen years, college years, and early 20s helped me to avoid some interpersonal mistakes I absolutely would have made otherwise, because otherwise I wouldn't have thought any differently. The openness you both talked about when it comes to mental health and trauma was so genuinely game-changing for me. I don't think I would have ever gone on antidepressants without you. I know they're being debated more now, but for me, they really helped with stabilization pre-therapy. And if that was placebo, then I don't care. Thank you, placebo. I agree with that 100%. Give me that placebo effect,
Yeah.
baby. My therapist has often complimented some of my thought processes that I literally took word for word from one of your videos, podcasts, or books. I give you credit, don't worry. Abby, the therapist, loves y'all too.
Wow.
And the variety of social justice topics and podcast interviews you have brought me, I could never ever conceptualize how much you have broadened my horizons and challenged me to think and reflect. I am so incredibly proud of both of you and everything you have accomplished since you started out on YouTube, not just career-wise, but personally. It really makes me feel better about being 24 because wow, does being in your 20s kind of suck sometimes. But it's okay that I'm not 100% okay with myself yet and that I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do with my life yet because look at you two go. You were where I was too. Sorry, this is so scattered, but for real, you guys have been one of the most important, consistent presences in my life throughout some really challenging and formative years. No matter what was going on, I could always look forward to something, either a Monday couch show, a sketch Thursday, switching between the two. I didn't care. I was so grateful for anything. I wish you could have seen my face when you all added that little, we could do that on the podcast tagline at the end of that one video. I think I cried. I'm emotional writing this. I've been meaning to write this out for a while, so I'm happy I finally did. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. My boyfriend also thanks you both because the communication we have built from stuff we learned from your discussions about relationships, mental illness, and communication, next level, 30s level shit. Ha ha ha. Love, Emily from Pittsburgh, PA, but soon to be San Diego, baby.
Incredible.
Oh my
That is so lovely.
It's so lovely.
And congratulations, Emily, on your growth.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gabe's fully crying. We read this when she sent it back in 2022 and sent a response then. But when I was thinking about what to share for the show, I was like, this was a banger for sure.
So much.
I don't know, like something about moving to podcasts from YouTube, like you don't have the same level of comments, like you don't have the same
Yeah.
like immediate feedback to
Yeah.
it the same way. And so I feel like I lost sense of like potentially like the impact that we were having on people.
Yeah.
And so that's like honestly why doing the Patreon has been really cool because now people can like directly reply to episodes and stuff. And I feel like we can like have a more direct relationship with people
And
again.
message
Yeah.
us and
Yeah.
stuff.
If people use Spotify, you can leave direct messages for episodes.
You can?
Yeah.
I had no idea. And we were recording in Spotify.
I'm like, why have I? My goodness.
Remember when you said someone told you when you go on testosterone, you don't cry anymore?
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's not been the case.
At all.
No, it has not at all. We have helped so many people, and yet why am I still so sad?
I didn't know where that sentence was going. Well, but isn't there something to the fact that all these people are changing and growing and healing? That should be inspiring that it's possible.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. It's like clearly like the art and the artist. You know what I mean? Where it's like you've made these great things, but that's the curse of the artist. Is that
You suffer for your art.
no? It's
Not
that
for your art.
it's that
but-
you can't experience your own art.
Yeah.
What if you listened with a blindfold on?
To us,
Yeah.
I listened
Wait,
to it.
you listen with a blindfold
Yeah,
on?
what?
That doesn't make sense.
Well, just like kind of a different sensory experience.
I mean, you don't look at
Yeah,
podcasts.
but I'm just saying it kind of puts you in a different, like, it's meditative state or something.
Okay.
Or I wipe my own memory and then I go back and listen to us.
Yeah. And you won't recognize yourself because your voice is different.
That's true.
But I also think that you don't appreciate the amount that you have changed.
Sure, yeah.
And also you've been going through a specifically tough time. And when someone goes through a specifically tough time, you're always going to backslide a bit.
Sort of the last 3 years, you would say. Sort of the last 3 years. Yeah, I know.
I think for you, maybe the next stage is taking the leap to be nice to yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd also like to say thank you to my very good friend, Tony Perry, for setting us up in the Spotify studio, which is why we look so good. Isn't it cool? I had a hookup. I never have the hookups.
You did have a hookup. When you sent this, I was like, okay.
This is beautiful. Yeah, I keep looking at myself. Like, I look great.
I want to record you every day.
Me too. And it makes everything so easy too on my end.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who's that handsome devil? I saw a video of myself playing kickball. Someone took a video of us, and I was like, "Who's that?" And it was me.
See, that's lovely.
Can I read you this?
Yes.
Okay, this is from Blythe. Hi, I'm a longtime watcher. I was actually the international question in the first ever podcast episode.
Wow.
I was 19 and wrote in questioning whether or not to stay with my boyfriend, who was, at the time, pro-life. Despite the advice being unanimously to dump him, I did not, LOL. We are still together, but I'd like to share an update, which is that over the past 6 years, thanks largely to a college education, he has reevaluated a lot of previously held beliefs and is now a pro-choice socialist. Proof that people can change. He is still a Jesuit Catholic, and I found it really funny how Allison is now married to one too. Much love to the both of you, and thanks for still being here. Smiley face. And then I said, wow, can I share this? And they said, yes, of course, feel free to share on the pod. I wasn't sure if anyone who'd written in had ever given an update.
We love updates. I always read them.
We can start doing it on the pod if you want.
We should,
I
right?
know.
That's amazing.
I'm just saying that, like, it's funny that they didn't take the advice and the person changed.
Yeah.
Or that we gave the wrong advice
Yeah.
on our first show. Wrong advice, later on, better advice.
How could we have known?
How could you have known?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. And I'm sure whatever advice y'all gave the writer, it probably like helped them in some way put things in perspective for their partner and maybe helped mold their partner to be who they are today.
Maybe they played it and said, these bitches are trying to get me to dump you. So rethink your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes, well, don't ever do this. But I'm just saying, like, you're like, actually, I went to my friends and they said, you're wrong.
I tell people that all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Well, hopefully this show for the last 5 years has been helpful.
Yeah.
If you want to submit your international question, you can send it to justbetweenuspod@gmail.com. That's justbetweenuspod@gmail.com.
Up next, we've got an exciting interview with our highly esteemed guest, John Asante. So stay tuned.
Just between us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. It's time for the juiciest, most scandalous, most controversial segment known to all of podcasting. Tough questions.
This week on the show, we have John Asante. John, do you want to give our listeners, if they don't remember you, who you are?
Yes, I am the original producer and developer of this show.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay. If you're OG, do you remember John? And you must, because it's been 5 years of the show. And if you forgot anything in those from the first year of those 5 years, you're a bad fan.
Well, I met John before our show because
Yeah.
I worked with you on Gossip, my scripted podcast
That's
that
right.
at least 4 people seem to still be listening to.
People
People
bring it
are
up.
re-listening. It's very thrilling.
But also someone stole your logo.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
Well, so now
No.
there's this huge podcast called Normal Gossip, and they have a
Oh.
very similar logo.
They do. They do.
I clocked it.
That's
Ooh.
normal gossip. They stole your logo.
Oh my
That's
God.
not the one I'm referring to, though. Somebody on TikTok. Remember, I sent you their TikTok, and their
Oh,
image
yeah.
is your actual
Oh,
gossip.
that was like they have like a fake TikTok account
Yeah.
with the image from the Gossip podcast.
What? That's
Guy.
wow.
I'm kind of flattered.
Wow. Wow.
Sure, you do you.
But so then I had such a great experience on Gossip. I was like, okay, finally, let's take YouTube to podcasting
Mhm.
because we'd run out of clothes. And then
Literally number one reason.
the funniest thing was like I pitched this whole like segmented podcast and like what all the different segments and things that we do. And they clearly did not send that to you. And they had just told John that like 2 YouTubers were like going to have a show.
Yeah.
And I remember you so kindly being like, so like, is there any sort of format for this
Yeah.
show?
Yeah.
And this was what, 2018. I was working at Stitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was my first, or 2019? 2018,
We
2019?
launched in March of 2019, but we
Right.
started recording, I think, in the end of 2018.
That sounds right.
Feels
yeah,
right. Yeah.
God.
And Kristen Torres, shout out to Kristen.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was under my wing at the time. She was part of this fellowship at Stitcher. And I was like, yo, so this is the first podcast I'm developing and leading the charge on my own. Like, my boss was like, here you go. And yeah, again, I was just like, wait, so we're just like these 2 YouTubers. Like, And I felt terrible because I didn't know who y'all were at the time.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't really the demographic. I'm a black guy in my mid-30s, but
Yeah.
I was like,
You'd
okay.
be surprised. There's at least one of you usually
Really?
at one of our events.
One of me, yes. I've been told there are many clones of me in LA.
They do all dress and look like you. That is sort of the thing. Yeah.
Is that there's just like a fan club?
Yeah.
Cool. I love it. I'm flattered. But yeah, honestly, it was a really nice challenge because at the time, YouTube was not a place for podcasts, like a destination for podcasts. So getting to kind of reverse develop it for y'all, the show in a different way was really it was a nice challenge. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, Allison, I mean, you basically had the format down already. Like what you pitched is what we do.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. But I didn't write the lead-ins. That's a huge reveal. I didn't write the tough question introduction. I think Kristen did.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time I'm like, this is so good. I can take no credit for this.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, she wrote so many of the things that we say, that we still say 5 years later.
Right.
What?
Yeah, like to our highly esteemed guests, like all of that was her, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She came up with that. I got to give her all the credit for that.
Whoa.
And then we did the photo shoot for our first image for the podcast. Do you remember that?
Yes, with the blow-up doll.
With the blow-up doll. Yes. Which it was funny because people were like, we had changed how we looked enough to do another logo, but also people were like, yeah, it's just sort of hard for me to recommend this show to people because there is a blow-up doll in the picture. And I was like,
What?
really?
Wouldn't
Yeah,
that-
they felt weird about it. And they felt weird about listening at work because of the picture.
Wouldn't that make it better? Like
I don't know.
More intriguing.
More exactly.
Yeah, scandalous.
No, I think people at their jobs are trying to be, they're trying to be low key or
low-key.
something.
If you're
Yeah.
listening to a podcast at your job, you're already kind of in trouble. Right?
I guess. I guess.
But that was such a fun shoot where I was like so I had that creative idea of that doll and I was like, we will make this happen. I would like not accept any other
You were
image.
hell bent on it. I don't know what the photographer was vibing with it at the time, but I
Is
was
that
like,
Robin?
yeah, I think it was Robin
Yeah.
Von Swank. Yeah, she did a lot of the photography for the Stitcher podcast.
When we
that
did
time.
that photo shoot, I had thrown out my hip. One of the, like how sometimes I throw out my hip.
Yeah.
So I had thrown out my hip and Cheyenne came with me because I couldn't drive and I was so injured. And we did that photo shoot and I was like, I couldn't believe I was standing for the pictures.
Oh, I don't remember
right
that.
after that, Cheyenne drove me straight to like the doctor, like urgent care.
Oh my gosh. I was like, yo, they're edgy. Wow.
No, I had since I had injured, because I have like problems with sciatica, and that was like, I had like a bad one. But I was like, we have to go to this photo shoot first.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I vaguely remember that, but
Any photo shoot that we've done, the photo shoot we did for the back cover of our books.
Mhm.
Do you remember what happened the day before?
Garrett dumped you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every
no.
single thing that we have had happen in our life has been a absolute harrowing day for me the night before.
Jeez.
Just those 2 times. Oh, then we did that Sundance lab and I had to take you to a psychiatrist in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wait, okay, so you're like, all right, this is my first show solo at Stitcher.
Mhm.
Like, were you worried about working with us? Like, what are first impressions of our dynamic?
Oh yeah, please.
I was like, oh, they're very happy. This is great. They're like, and they're very honest and forthcoming. I did my research. I watched like 5 episodes of JBU on YouTube. And I was like, whoa. Again, I didn't know you had the format down already. So
Oh, yeah.
I was racking my brain trying to figure out how do we shape the show. Because I really wanted to make a highly produced interview show that like actually like people could follow along with and be like, okay, good. Boom, boom, boom. I know the beats of
Yeah.
it. And at the time, I was also producing a podcast about someone in a cult. So it was actually a really nice balance to be working with y'all.
Oh.
Really, really interesting. It was just like good, like, oh, this is a good comedic relief.
Right.
You know?
Although we do talk about cults quite a bit.
But-
Yeah, that's true.
True. There
More
were a
as
lot.
just like, I want to say a fan, but as just like,
A critic, I think.
yeah, a
Yeah,
critic, an
yeah.
interested critic.
What did you think of us?
I thought y'all had a really great rapport. Like, I didn't know how long y'all had been friends, but I knew that you had a good working relationship and an actual friendship. Like, you truly liked each other.
We had a friendship and a terrible working relationship.
Very
Oh,
true.
okay.
And we were already doing the show, and then we had our fight. But I feel like we had a fight like episode 4.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because you didn't tell me that you had slept with somebody.
Yup.
and I was mad
Oh man.
because of who it was.
Yeah, someone Allison didn't like.
No, someone who doesn't like me and had been
doesn't
mean
like
to
it.
me, and
Yeah.
then you still had sex with them.
Mhm. Yeah, well, have you seen them?
Oh my god. And I was like, yo, this is some real drama.
It was nuts.
I'm sitting there in the studio being like, do I feed them notes or do I just let this play out?
It was episode with Kelsey Dara. So
Wow.
Kelsey was coming in later and she showed up to do the interview and it was bad energy.
Oh no.
And she was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Here's what happened. You said, I have a secret. And I said, okay, I have a secret too. And you were like, well, mine's like bigger. And I was like, doubt it.
What
And
was
then-
my secret?
That Jake was officially your boyfriend.
Oh,
Woo.
I know.
Wow.
that was a
Wow.
mistake.
I know. And then we each wrote our secrets down on a piece of paper. And then we slid them to each other at the same time. And then
Wait,
we opened
really?
them. Yes.
This was so, I remember this. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I barely know them, but I need to know the tea.
And then I opened mine and I was like, oh my God, Allison, that's so amazing. I was so happy for you. And you opened yours and you were like, fuck you. We don't do that sort of unhinged behavior anymore.
Well, I'm further along in my mental health journey. I know how to emotionally regulate now.
Yes, you've written a book
Yeah.
on that. Yep. Congratulations. Congratulations to
you.
both of y'all for writing books and screenplays and
Oh,
what
thank
I
you.
noticed about y'all from the beginning too is that y'all were so driven. Like as chill and as like funny and as like deep as y'all got, I was like, they are on a mission to like really make some amazing things.
Oh.
And
Thanks.
that was really reassuring because you never know, as a producer working at a network or production house, you just never know when you just get assigned something, when you have very little control of what you can work on, you just
Yeah.
never know who you're going to work with.
Right.
And I think y'all were very, like, you knew what you wanted from the beginning, which was great. And we, gave you options, but usually like, no, we're just gonna go this route and do the show this way. I even remember when we were coming up with the theme music, which I'm so glad is still being used
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Shout out to
Mhm.
Jordan Duffy, who sang amazing vocals on it. That I feel like did y'all come up with that idea, or was that something like Brendan
no, Brendan
did?
Burns did the
Yeah,
whole. He
Brendan,
composed
yeah.
the whole thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then they just like pulled employees from Stitcher to
Stitcher.
just
Right.
sing the amazing vocals, and he
Yeah.
just made the theme music.
Oh,
And we're like, if it's not broken, we're not touching it.
nice.
People never think that it's us singing. But on Bad with Money, they always think it's me. But it's not. It's Sam Barbera. It's a different woman.
Oh,
I know. No one ever asks us if we sang.
well, I think it's pretty obvious that it's too good. like if we could sing like that, we'd be doing it all
Right,
the time.
sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, also like I feel like at the beginning of the show, as we were just talking about, the first guest that we ever recorded was my ex-boyfriend, Dan DiLorenzo.
Oh, Dan. He was our first guest?
Yes. But then at some point we were like, this seems wrong. we were like, we actually shouldn't have our first episode be like some random white guy. And so we moved him back. And I don't
Oh.
remember at what point we started being like, no, we will only interview experts in their fields.
Well, Jasmine J was second. Who was our first episode?
Oof, I don't know. We should have done this
remember.
prep.
But here's
I
here's
know.
what's interesting is that these people, even though they weren't like experts, we did have a topic for them to come on.
Mhm.
Jasmine came and talked about body positivity. Dan was talking about you guys being exes and stuff. Like everyone had like a specific, it wasn't just like come on and shoot the shit. The only come on and shoot the shit episode that I remember us doing is Gabrus.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
And that's because we were like, and maybe Lacey Mosley.
yeah.
And those two are like
well,
heavy
Lacey,
hitters.
we were technically talking about scams.
Technically.
Oh, right. That was like,
'cause it was
that
right
bef-
when her show launched.
Scam Goddess.
And
yeah.
both of our shows have done equally well.
Do you know I'm sort of like talking to her?
You told me that
Oh,
a
yeah.
while ago. She's gone on. I mean, that's like one of the biggest shows now.
Yeah.
Got a book off of
huge.
it. It's huge. So
Yeah.
cool. We were there. They were like, can you promote this show? And we were like, of course. And
Yeah.
then she like skyrocketed.
Gabrus we just had on because we were like, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Gabrus.
What was our first episode, Melissa? You
Yes, it was Maggie West.
Maggie!
Oh, yeah.
I just saw her. I just saw her
Wow.
Oh,
recently.
I haven't seen her in forever. She's an amazing photographer if you're a newer listener. And she shot us both in the nude.
She did. Oh my god, that was so funny. She shot us, and then she was like, Allison was allowed to cover herself. And then for me, I showed up and she went, I expect better of you. I was like, oh my God, fine, Jesus.
Dang.
I just saw her. She like shoots bioluminescent animals in the ocean.
Oh,
like her new project
nice.
thing is that she goes down to the ocean and finds like the times when the tide is in and the jellyfish are bioluminescent, and she shoots like those, like close-ups
my
of those
God.
and stuff. It's beautiful. Anyway, it was cool. I just saw her.
Oh,
Nice.
And
wow.
Jasmine was second, right?
Jasmine was second.
Who was third?
Third was Dan.
Oh, okay. That seems right.
That's right. You know, one little tidbit about that. I do remember you saying we should switch the order, and my producer brain was like, "Oh hell no, we got a system here." But I'm really glad we did for the exact reason you said. Like, let's not start off with the straight dude.
Well, also like because it that also sets it up with the idea that like it's going to be like friends and like people we know.
Yeah.
And that's like not what the show became. Like it was
Right.
very much like us randomly being interested in topics and like reaching out to them. I mean, it's funny now, but like before this show, I didn't ever interview anybody.
Right.
Like
Whoa.
now I feel like one of my main things that I think about myself is sort of like an interviewer, both for the
Right.
podcast and now for all my books, like this book that's coming out. And I did like, I don't know, like over like 40 interviews for it. Like, you know, like I think of
Wow.
myself now as like a professional interviewer, but we kind of came into the show
Yeah.
being like, I'm sure we can figure it out.
Well, I went to school for journalism, and I had interviewed people on
Yeah.
Bad with Money. Like I went to school for interviewing
Right,
people.
but I didn't.
So,
Mhm,
right.
mhm. Yeah. I think I remember sensing that. Like, oh, Gabe knows what he's doing. But you have the
Yeah.
direction. Allison's like, I'm just gonna jump in here. We'll just figure it out. But I still believed in you. Don't worry. It all worked out. Everybody brings their, strengths to the village.
Yeah.
Shout out to my wife, Blake Day. She says that a lot, and I borrow that. So
Oh.
if she's listening, listens, which she will, and she's such a big fan of y'all's.
Oh.
I remember you
She was
when
like
you
just
started
your
dating her.
girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like less than a year into dating at that point.
Yeah.
And I think I remember y'all being like, ooh, what's the story? What's the story? How do y'all know each other?
We did, yeah. We wanted, well, I think like we didn't want to question you about having a girlfriend yet, but at some point I remember Allison was like, so what's the deal?
Yes.
She loved, what were we doing where it was like something happened? Oh, it was our live, we do like a live hang with, our fans on a certain tier of Patreon.
Right.
And one girl just started talking about her like relationship drama, and I could feel Allison be like interested, like all of a sudden being like, and what's the deal? Do you guys like each other a lot? Like,
I love to talk about
she loves love.
I love love. What can
Yeah,
I
so
say?
I remember you were saying to him like, do you have a girlfriend?
Probably.
But like, I think you brought it to me later. I think you were like, John's got a girlfriend, like as like a flex. That
Well, because I'm sure you probably had a crush on him.
probably
Yeah. So I had to be like,
You know what? That's maybe
yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
Is that I asked. That makes sense. Yeah.
That adds up, right? Melissa's nodding.
Yeah.
Well, I am flattered.
Yeah, I just like to suss out sort of the situation, I
Yeah.
think.
What
Yeah,
your
probably.
opportunities are. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're the one who gets the info.
I'm a detective.
She really is.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, like, we made you go on mic. How did you feel about
Yes.
that?
Oh my God. I was actually really happy because I missed being on mic. Like
Aw.
I had been trying to like restart projects and everything, and I just been, in Pro Tools a bunch and writing stuff for folks, and hadn't been talent. And I was like, wait, you want me to be on the mic for this show?
Because you had to rate us at the end.
That's what scared me. And I was like, oh God. I'm thinking in producer mode, like, all right, let's cut this, let's move that around.
Mhm.
And then, so I'm not necessarily thinking about what the show is, the quality of the show overall.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how does this episode
Right.
sound. And so I was a little bit nervous. The first one, I don't know. I need to go back and listen. I'm sure I sounded nervous as fuck, but like, it was a funny thing. I liked it because y'all
How
were
did we
just
come
like,
up with that?
Are you kidding?
wait,
I don't
You
remember.
make people rate all the time.
Oh, just like random stuff.
Yeah,
That
like
was
you
definitely
no,
odd.
like you if you leave a party, I remember you would throw parties, and then when we would leave the party, you would be like, if you could just fill out this survey.
I had a survey at my wedding.
Yeah.
You
get
sat down
out.
at my wedding. There was a QR code so that you could fill out a survey.
I was going to say it had to be a QR code. Wow.
You would like when we would leave your house from a party, you would like at the door be like, and what did you rate this party?
Oh, okay. So then I was like, we should include that.
Yeah, you were like,
Yeah.
we should get
Yeah.
rated at the end. You're
Oh.
And then-
obsessed with getting rated.
Yeah, I do love. I like positive feedback, which is why no one can ever rate this show below at least 100%.
Oh my God. That's true. We always have to do more than what the thing is.
Yeah,
I don't know how Sue started that.
I don't know either. Also, like, so hypotheticals, I know started because we did Would You Stay With This Cheater on YouTube.
Yes, and people
Right.
loved
And
it.
people love that. But then how did it become named hypotheticals?
I feel like that was a you thing. I
Yeah.
feel like you did that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember coming up with that. It feels
No.
like very much an Allison thing.
Yeah. Well, you came up with the other ones. Like, I think like the Would You Stay With This? I don't even know where Would You Stay With This Cheater came from, but
Me
it was
neither.
like a segment that we would do on YouTube
Yeah.
that was like, the whole bit was that you would do that and then I would just be put upon by it. But then there was also Truth or Truth. Maybe it came out of Truth or Truth.
I love Truth or Truth. Yeah.
Truth or Truth is something she would make us do on YouTube where we had to say Truth or Truth. And then you said truth. And then you both at the same time had to say activated. And that would mean that you were in the truth bubble and you couldn't lie.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if you don't activate, you
Right.
can lie.
Hey.
What?
I like the gaming aspect here.
There is something to the richness of ritual. You know, it's much more fun to have it, and then you're kind of cued in with the person.
Yeah.
So you're saying it at the same time.
And if I forgot to say activate, you'd be like, do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it again.
Unbelievable. I'm very trainable, is the thing. I'm like very suggestible. Yeah. So I think, and then you came up with the other ones. I don't even remember.
Yeah. I mean, I think the OGs were, is this a date? And then, is this person an alien or just rude?
Which
Yeah.
after an autism diagnosis, we had to change.
Well, no, someone before you, way before you got diagnosed, had pointed out that it seemed like we were just talking about autistic traits. And so then we stopped doing that
Oh,
one.
That's
Yeah.
why.
And I
Okay.
wonder how before we knew that I was, how often I would be like, alien. Obviously.
We're going to take a quick break, but stick around.
Just between us.
And we're back.
So, okay, this was something I wanted to talk about is like, what were the biggest like mistakes that we made?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Probably the whole sliding our secrets across the table thing.
That was a tricky one. I don't know if that was mistakes or just creating drama.
Yeah, people
that-
like drama.
Yeah, people do like drama. I mean, I feel like you're rating me right now, or you're wanting me to rate the show. So is this a trick question, or no?
Maybe we
mistakes.
made a mistake with the logo we did. Me pushing that sex doll.
I still think the sex doll was the right choice.
Pretty funny.
I can't think of any mistakes really. I think we just had like slight disagreements with like some editorial decisions, but even then
Yeah.
I was just like, they were things that I'm like, you know what? It's their show. I'm
What
just,
were they?
I don't even remember. I think it might have just been like the order of the show, like how many.
Yeah.
Also, I remember one thing like, I can't remember. Did y'all want to listen to the show before we put it out? Like
Yes.
the edited version?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a mistake, but I was like, ooh.
Melissa right here is feeling that pain still to this day.
And
This morning when I sent like 5, and please cut this small stumble that is lasts for less than 1 second.
That is true. But I edit our YouTube videos and I have for 10 years and it's that as well. I'm
Yeah.
like, she'll be like, can you cut this one thing? And I'll be like, I understand. I have to re-render the entire thing.
oh, right.
But like,
like,
it's fine.
yeah.
Now I do it in like small, like I'll do it in shitty, quality. So that when she does the edit, then it's like in better quality. But
Wait, so most people don't listen to their shows?
It depends. Some people do. I think in my mind, I was like, well, they have this show on YouTube. Maybe they're editing it. Maybe they have someone else edit it. I don't know how tightly edited it was. I'm like, I didn't know how much y'all cared about it. So I think I mistakenly went in thinking, oh, we're just going to put it together and they're not going to care about how we put it together. We're going to hit this goal time. We're going to put in X, Y, and Z.
Mm,
And then when you're like, oh, we'd like to listen to it, I was like, fuck.
yeah.
But I am used to working with folks like on a team where, someone's like, okay, usually it's like an editor or something like that, not usually the host, unless it's like a more involved project, like a narrative series. So that was my mistake of thinking that you didn't want to listen to it afterward and just be like, yep, it's done, but here we go.
We say stuff all the time that we're like, cut that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it really did help because there were just some things I just didn't know that you just say in the moment that you're, that you're like, oh, I didn't want to say that at all.
I feel like a big mistake we made was someone told us to do it, so we can't be in trouble. But one of the higher producers there told us to link the hypotheticals to the person's expertise.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of that person, but I remember what she looked like.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
Takes a sip.
that was hard because we would interview people about delicate things.
Right.
Yeah.
And then to theme the hypotheticals around that delicate thing was brutal.
Yeah, not a good idea.
That was a big mistake. We also made a huge mistake once we were with Forever Dog, which was cutting up the episode.
Oh my God.
So
Ooh.
Forever Dog wanted us to, which was our network after Stitcher, because Stitcher canceled us, whatever.
Boo, bad mistake.
Now they don't
I
even
had-
exist really
I know.
anymore.
Oh my God, can I tell
Karma.
you? Can I say drama about Stitcher?
Please.
Go for it.
Okay, so they were like, they canceled Bad with Money during Pride
No.
after they had me make a video saying Happy Pride from one of the queer people that does Stitcher, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I made a video being like, Happy Pride from Bad with Money, Stitcher.
What
blah,
year
blah.
is this?
I don't remember. And then, so I did that, maybe 2020 or 2021. So then I did that. Then they sent me this long email being like, we'd love to work with you on anything else in the future. Like, we don't, we want to keep the relationship or whatever. And I legitimately wrote back, if you want to work with me, uncancel my show that I already had with you.
Wow. Yeah. Why come up with a different concept?
I wrote that one sentence. And then they were like, oh, no, like, and I was like, if you are going to cancel something that I've made, why would I continue to work with you?
Exactly.
I wrote that back. And then
Did they cancel you after they'd canceled JBU?
Mhm.
Oh.
And then I remember, I don't know who I was sharing on the emails. Maybe you, maybe not. But I was sharing them with someone who was just like, get him. I can't remember who it was. It was like maybe Drew or someone, like a friend of mine who was like, I was like, is this too much? And they were like, go for it. Jugular.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. I know so much I can say about Stitcher, but I will leave it alone. But that's wild. Wait,
Yeah. I also love to send a rude business email.
I love it. Just be, just come with it. Because that is ridiculous that they even said that to you.
Also, she was saying, why didn't they send that to us about JBU? Why do they only want to keep working with you?
Oh.
I forgot that, but thanks for bringing it up.
You brought it up. You were all mad. And I was like,
No, I
"Wh-
forgot until I didn't know. I didn't have that in my brain until this moment that you just said it.
yeah, but then it was like bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are they bullshitting me? Maybe they feel like Allison is not a bullshitter.
But did they even like call y'all to tell you or like send an email, be like, hey, let's hop on like a video chat or something? Like, how did
Maybe
they tell
it
you?
was a phone call. Like, right?
might
Like,
have
I was
been.
like in Colorado with
Oh.
my parents and my ex-fiance and was like, yep, we're canceled.
We've had
Damn.
so many, I would say in the course of me and Allison working together, we've had so many like harrowing speakerphone conversations.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but so the thing with Forever Dog was like, hey, we need to get, if you release twice a week, then we'll get more money in ads.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I guess. And so then we cut up the show where like only the interview and hypotheticals was one day, and then like topics and IQ was the other day, making it like
right.
not a variety show and
No.
instead just like pretty boring. And I think we lost like half our listenership by doing that.
Dang.
So that was
Yeah.
a mistake.
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just all about capitalism there. Right?
The small indie network.
You know what's interesting? Yeah.
Yes, a small indie network all about making money.
Yeah. And then I would argue that the other place we were at didn't prioritize making money enough. In fact.
Well, so the first year we went with Forever Dog, we took a garbage deal where we literally made no money the whole year.
Correct.
And then the next year, our manager like fought them tooth and nail, and then they gave us too much money, and then we sunk the show. Well, because what happened was our main sponsor was BetterHelp.
Right.
Ooh.
And so we like every day would get people so pissed,
Pissed,
rightly, with us for promoting them because they're like not a great
Yeah.
company. As much as I wanted them to be a great company because I think that
It's a
like
good
accessible
idea.
telehealth therapy
Yeah.
is like a wonderful thing if done correctly.
Yeah.
It like became clear that they were like not doing it correctly.
Mm.
And so then we had to be like to Forever Dog, like, hey, like we just can't do this anymore. And then we like ran out the contract and we like lost our biggest sponsor.
Dang.
So that screwed them over a lot.
Ooh,
You know what
okay.
helps though is that with Bad with Money, I just say I don't really care about the sponsors, guys. It's just I just need money, and then someone will be like, "There's an ad for Border Patrol," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I didn't choose it." Like, I'm so transparent with them. Like I'm like, "Listen, get the stuff or don't. I don't really care. I need money."
Right.
I will say when I think about nice things people have said to me,
Yeah.
one is when I was doing gossip with you, or like you came into gossip later, but like
Yeah.
I would do all the ads with you. I'd come in once a week and do the ads.
Yes.
And you were always so nice and you were always like, you do such a great job with these. And I think about that all the time.
Oh.
Like whenever I read an ad or I have to do like an announcer voice, I'm like, John believes in me.
You read the ads all the way through. Like you and I are like a machine like that. There are
Mhm.
probably people that stumble on the ads all the time.
Oh, for real. No, y'all do a great job. Yeah.
I had to do one about that, the Suzavas, the thing where you put a chicken in a bag.
Sous
Oh,
vide.
sous vide.
Yeah, that was tough for me.
Well, let's call it Susavas from now on. I like that better.
Because now when we record ads, Gabe does all the hard pronunciations.
Ah.
But I was just for gossip, I had to do them all solo.
I just got another compliment. I'm very good at people's names. And I just got another compliment from someone at a brunch I went to who had like a difficult name. And she said it once to me. I asked her to say it again. She said it again. And then I introduced her to someone else and she went, "How did you do that?" And I was like, "I don't know.
It's great. It's an important skill set.
I have
Right.
like an ear for language and pronunciation."
Okay, here's a question.
Yes.
Before we asked you to come back on to this special day, when was the last time you listened to our show?
Today.
Allison.
Today.
Well, that's when we'd asked.
Yes.
But before we had asked you.
A few months ago. But,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I tune
thought
in
you
here
were
and
going to
there.
be like about 4.5 years
No,
ago.
no. I try to pop in a podcast I've listened to or I've produced here and there.
Aw.
The ones that still exist. Very few.
Yeah.
And this is one of the few. But I do, and I love how y'all have like evolved it. I really do like the Reddit segment,
Oh, thank
the
you.
Reddit episodes, because I've been getting really into Reddit. Like,
I'm so in it.
I'm like, oh, I didn't think I'd ever be.
I still don't understand it.
I mean, it's still insane. I still
Yeah.
don't fully
Yeah.
understand it either. But like,
It's great because it's like you're getting information, but you don't know any of these people.
yes.
So it's amazing.
Right.
Who cares who they are?
But my journalist mind is always like, I need to fact check this because how much do I
no.
believe it?
It's all like the comments are clutch for
Right.
that.
Right. Yes.
They'll
yes.
be like,
But
no,
then why do you trust the comments?
I don't know.
it's
It's not stuff that like matters. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this is a wild story. It doesn't matter if it's true, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Totally. And I'm like, y'all spend a lot of time on here. Like, you just ever look at there's like 500 comments for like on the I am the main character subreddit, which I
Mhm.
love. And I think y'all talked about
Yeah.
that recently.
Yeah.
I'll just look and there'll just be like 550 comments
Yeah.
on like someone who's just doing something crazy at a restaurant. And I'm just like,
Love it.
who has time to be on here?
I never
like that?
comment.
Same.
So
I'm
do
the
you think
lurker.
that's generational though? Do you think that if we were like 10 years younger, it would have been way more normalized to comment and then we would comment?
No, because I feel like I get the sense that some of the people who do comment are in like their 30s or 40s, but there may be something to it. I don't know. Maybe
Melissa comments.
Melissa comments
From fake
See?
accounts.
See, I don't know. I started trying to think about that through different social media platforms, and
I just feel like a
Boomers?
bigger percentage
Yeah.
of younger people comment than our age.
that's
Well,
a fair point.
Boomers, I feel like boomers and Gen X comment because they like came up like, oh, there's comment sections on newspaper articles now. Like they like
Yes.
came when that started to be a thing. Because before that, the boomers had letters to the editor.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much it. Let me tell you, my grandpa wrote a lot. He was not a boomer, but he wrote a lot of letters to the editor.
Yeah, they-
About what kind of stuff?
If a restaurant wasn't good, or if somebody wrote like a review of something and he disagreed, or
Yeah.
if like, like what you would think of as a comment, but he would just write a letter to the editor about it.
Yeah, they just get so heated. Like when I worked at NPR, the amount of letters that hosts would get over the
Yeah.
most ridiculous stuff, like
Really?
you didn't pronounce Baghdad right.
Yeah. And that's like a letter in the mail.
We
Right,
get
yes.
emails of correcting us a lot, but sometimes it's valid.
You know what? I don't read any of the emails.
Let me guess, they're from like cis white guys, right?
No,
No.
it's just from
No?
everyone.
From everyone?
Yeah. It's from everyone. But here's the thing is that I don't like to read reviews because they're not for me. Like, what am I going to do? Change my behavior? No.
No.
It's
You
it's for
shouldn't.
other people to see if they want to tune in or not tune in. I am who I am.
No, we took a comment recently that we agreed on because someone had written in saying we had interviewed a psychic
Mhm.
and they were very upset that we'd interviewed a psychic because it felt like we were like promoting something that wasn't real, and she said some stuff that was a little questionable about COVID and yada yada. And so then I sent it to you, Gabe, and then you went, okay, no more psychics. So we took the note.
That's not about me personally.
But I feel like a lot of times it's about our guests. We get like a lot of comments about who we have on, if they
Yeah.
said bad things, like
Yeah. That psychic did say something nuts about COVID. But other
On
she
second
did
thought.
allude to the idea that perhaps people that got COVID.
No, it was that people that are really afraid of COVID, the only reason that they're so afraid is because in their past life they had died from the Black Plague.
No, what?
She said it as an example
As an example.
of how a past
Oh.
life might come into play.
Yeah.
Got it. Were y'all sitting there? What was your reaction to that?
I think I did pretty well considering how I was feeling.
Mhm.
I found it offensive because it's minimizing COVID fears,
Yes, you
which
did
I feel
say
like
that.
isn't valid because we should be afraid of COVID, and it's
Yeah.
very normal to be afraid of COVID.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so that I didn't like, but I mean, I feel like for things like that, when we have people on like astrologers, it's like I always am like, I don't believe this. Like I'm pretty honest with them. I'm not like promoting it to the audience as like, and this is the truth that I believe. It's more
Yeah.
like, what's your point of view? Like, what do you believe?
Yeah,
And then
I'm
me
interested in
being
that.
like, which I feel like is different than me being like, and I vouch for astrology.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
But I love a psychic. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm open to being like, yeah, if somebody really believes something, I'm open to having them on the show because I'm like, yeah, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm open. Let's see.
And that's why we've had so many problems due to the Joe Rogan podcast of just giving
Oh.
voice to people with bonkers ideas.
That's true.
Yes.
So it's pretty dangerous. Just allowing someone on your show gives them a level
Yeah.
of credibility.
You're giving them platform.
Yeah.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
cut people off who have brought up just randomly, brought up weight and weight loss.
Oh.
Like the amount of times it'll be someone who like is like pretty on point for other stuff, and then we'll just be like, and you'll lose weight. And we're like, what is this? No.
No.
How did this get in here?
You're like, cut any reference to Ozempic
What
right
is
now.
wrong with you? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Yet brave.
Go for it.
I don't know if it's brave. I'm sort of changing my mind about Ozempic. And
Go
that
on.
Okay.
I think for some people it's actually like really medically like helpful.
Oh, yes. But that's different than like my stupid friends who are just injecting it while they snort ketamine at Revolver.
Whoa. Wow. That's a combo. Wow. I didn't even know that was
The
a thing.
stupid gay friends of mine who are just refrigerating it and giving it away to each other.
But I guess I originally was afraid that it was very dangerous and that like it would be, that like it would come out that like it had all these, and at this point now I feel like it's proven to like actually be like really helpful and effective for a lot of people. So I would like to, I've changed my opinion on it.
If used correctly.
Yeah, well, right. If
Yeah.
used correctly.
Yeah.
I don't like that it is now reinforcing that we all need to be thin again and we're just throwing the body positivity movement out the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't like that. But I do think for certain people, like, I don't think there should be like shame around taking it if your doctor prescribes it to you.
Yeah, totally.
I think I agree with you on that. I just don't, I find issue with people using a drug in one way for another, like
Yeah.
a drug that they're not necessarily supposed to use.
But now it's
So-
getting prescribed for it.
Right. So that's one
Yeah.
thing. But I mean, it is like, because it's originally a diabetes medication.
Yeah.
So when I heard people using it for weight loss, I was like, is this what like my friends did with Adderall to stay up at night
Yeah.
in college?
Off-label,
like
yeah.
that's the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
and I took
baby.
such issue with that because like my brother, who's autistic, had to
Right.
take Adderall for a number of years.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, he clearly needs it. And
Yeah.
and with the Adderall shortage now that's still going on,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got to stop. Like, there has to be some like
Yeah.
stop this. So that's where my mind goes when it comes to Ozempic.
No,
Oh, yeah. Because I've seen my sister not on her Adderall, and it's terrifying.
I used to be on so much Adderall in college.
What?
I don't know. The lady was like, you need this. I was like, okay.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Anyways.
Cannot imagine a worse scenario.
I don't think it did anything. I don't think I was any different. I think it
Really?
was because I was falling asleep while driving.
Oh, okay. Well,
You
And
haven't
then-
heard about the narcolepsy misdiagnosis?
then I was misdiagnosed with narcolepsy.
Oh man.
I had to take a liquid medication that's also used as a date rape drug. It
Oh
was a
my
wild time.
God.
It was a wild summer.
What?
Sometimes I think about my life now and I'm like, things are pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, you have said that.
Okay, but before we dive into hypotheticals, we had two other producers throughout the years before we have. Well, Melissa actually came in and out. Do you want to share the timeline? Do you remember the timeline better than me?
I don't remember the exact timeline because I know I came in after John left, but
You
I
must
think
have come
me and
before
Kristen-
Tamika.
yeah, me and Kristen were there at the same time
Mhm.
for an amount.
Okay.
Mhm.
Working together on the show.
Yeah, like for a hot second because I only came because I didn't work for Stitcher.
Right.
Indie producer, and I had podcasts that were like part of Stitcher's ad network, but not part of Stitcher, so mid-roll.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Yes.
right.
Mid-roll. I remember.
Right.
And so I was in the studio and they just like knew me as a producer. So then I was asked to fill in, I believe, in between Kristen and Tamika.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we invited both of them to join us on this episode, but they weren't able to.
Mm-hmm.
But we have little messages from them. Tamika sent in a lovely, lovely note.
Says their discussions about mental health and relationships on the show helped shift some of the limiting beliefs I had about my ability to care for my own mental health and my ability to find a healthy relationship prior to working on JBU.
Oh,
Mhm.
Tamika.
Wow.
So nice.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, Tamika, that was amazing.
She was so sweet.
She was so sweet. Then we left Stitcher, and then when we went to Forever Dog, we were like, "Can we pick our own producer?" And we were like, "We want Melissa again,
And
Yeah.
I'm back,
Hey.
baby.
back, baby."
That is what happened.
Yeah, because Tamika was full time at Stitcher.
Yeah, so we couldn't take her with us.
Right.
Right.
And then Kristen sent in a voice memo. Let's hear it.
Hi, Allison. Hi, Gabe. It's Kristen. I just wanted to wish you a happy 5th year anniversary of Just Between Us. 5 whole years. I cannot believe it. How time flies when you're having the best time ever. I had so much fun making the show with you all and John, and we had some pretty silly moments and some really fun guests. And I just loved the variety nature of the show when we first got started. I loved all the games, and I kind of ask myself this question all the time when someone asks me to coffee. Is this a date? I don't know. Well, I love you all. Thank you so much for the fun memories, and congratulations.
Oh,
That's so
Kristen.
nice.
That's really sweet.
Oh, she's the best. I interviewed her for a grad school paper once.
Oh, really?
what?
About what?
I don't really remember. I think it was for my cultural class. I don't exactly. She was lovely. She was very helpful and nice. So thank you for that as well, Kristen. I wrote so many papers. I don't
That's
remember
true.
what they were.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is time for America's favorite game show, Hypotheticals. And if for some reason this is your first episode listening to this show, welcome. Hypotheticals is a game show where Gabe and John are going to be my contestants. I'm going to give you a series of hypothetical situations. You can ask any clarifying questions you might have, and then you tell me what you would do in that situation.
You know what's funny? If this was someone's first episode, we could have been making this all up. This
Oh.
could have been like one big yes and improv game.
Like when the
Ooh.
Backstreet Boys' first single was Backstreet's Back.
Yep, just like that.
It was like, I didn't even know about you before. Do you have a favorite hypothetical that any of you remember?
Good Lord.
Oh, wow. Wow.
What was the one that made me
Oh,
laugh
man.
so hard that it was like something to do with, was piss apples part of
Okay,
it?
so the one that I remember the most is it was one of our live shows
Yeah.
on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And it was about a kid who peed the bed and then we put him in a pee bath. Like that, like the mom put him in a bathtub to pee in the bathtub instead or something. And it was like a live show and we were just dying about the pee bath.
Fell on the ground. Yeah, pee bath was one, piss bath was one. And then I was not ready for that one. I remember being physically dying from laughing. And then what was the apple one?
I don't know. But I do know that Melissa recently said that I did one of her favorites, but now I can't remember what it was.
And neither can I.
No.
But it was exciting because, it's hard to come up with these. So to
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
winner this far down the line.
Well, Kitty Bags.
Oh, that was a classic. Yes. Kitty in the Big Old City.
Kitty in the Big Old City.
That was one where we had fan art created off of that hypothetical.
Yeah,
Wow.
Allison said that there was a graphic novel
called Kitty,
called
in,
Kitty
the
in the Big Old City, and that it was like you are the author, your partner is the author of it, and they meet Kitty Bags, who's the actual lead of their comic book, and they have to sleep with her because their character came to life. And then I think you didn't even say, you said her name was Kitty Bags. And then me and the guest were like, what's the graphic novel called? And because Allison's so quick with these responses, she said Kitty in the Big Old City. And then somebody drew a graphic novel, Kitty in the Big Old City, the cover.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. I'm going to pitch that as my second rom-com to my editor next month. Okay. Our first game is hands down America's favorite game show. Would you stay with this cheater? So, okay, I have to admit that some of what I'm doing here is kind of like throwbacks.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
some things that are familiar,
Little
but
Easter eggs.
yeah.
The Allison hypothetical cinematic universe,
Yes, exactly.
which people I bet have tracked. Like I bet people would
It's
be
all
able to
connected,
know.
baby.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
all connected.
Your partner of 27 years, high on laughing gas for a minor dental surgery,
Okay.
confesses that before you met, they had a sordid love affair with a married woman that lasted for 3 weeks.
Babe, a what love affair?
Sordid.
Okay.
Sordid.
Torrid is one word and sordid is another word.
What is SORDID?
Sordid.
Yeah, you got it.
Did I say it wrong?
You said sordid,
Whatever.
which is a combination of sordid and torrid.
It's even more meaningful. Okay. Had some sort of love affair with a married woman that lasted for 3 weeks. They felt so much guilt over this, they vowed to never speak of it again so they could live with themselves. They stuck to this vow, even when you started dating, and they realized that woman is your mom.
Whoa.
Would
my
you stay with this cheater?
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
okay,
So
okay,
many
wait.
twists.
The twist of it being your mom is a classic
Yo.
hypotheticals twist.
Oh my gosh.
Are my parents still married?
Yeah.
And my dad doesn't know.
No.
Hmm.
Nobody knows other
Nobody
than you, other than your partner, now you and your mom.
And it's 27 years.
Yeah, 27
Why
years.
did my mom never tell me?
Yeah.
Why would she own up to that?
Are you kidding? If a guy, I'm like so baffled. if someone came and said, I said, this is my partner to meet my mom, I feel like my mom would immediately be like, uh-oh. And like,
No, your mom is clearly in this scenario an incredible liar because they pulled off a 3-week sordid love affair.
Mm. Right. So
They're a devious person.
they would have a poker
yeah,
face.
exactly.
Dang. I'm trying to think of other questions. 'Cause there's so
27
many.
years.
27 years. And it was only 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it was before they met you.
In the entirety of our 27 years, did my mom and my partner ever hang out? Like go run an errand together
Yeah,
or go
they
to a
went to
baseball
Target
game?
once a month.
Nope. I'm out. I'm out.
How deep did
I'm
it
out.
get? Like, how intimate did it get? Do we
It was
know?
incredibly. It was an incredibly. Melissa's gonna
Melissa's
throw
going,
up.
no.
No.
You gotta cut it.
No. Keep going. You said deep and it made me laugh. Like, how deep
Yeah.
did it go?
Yeah. Melissa has the sense of humor of a 13-year-old boy.
Oh, I see what I did there. Okay.
Who's had access to the internet for way too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a super sexual relationship, but not like they didn't have good banter, and that's why it was only 3 weeks.
But she didn't feel bad about my dad at all?
Your mom or your partner?
No, like my mom didn't care, like didn't feel bad about my dad
Well,
when the affair was happening.
no. I mean, she thought that she was getting her own needs met.
Do we know why the affair happened? Like,
How'd they meet?
like how'd they meet? Yeah.
They met through a sports league, a t-ball for adults sports league.
Okay.
And weirdly enough, they were the only 2 people that showed up because people don't really want to play t-ball as adults.
Okay.
Fair point.
Well, so that feels a little better because she wasn't like on the apps trying to like cheat on my dad.
No, she was as well.
I'm
But
out.
that's not how she met your
I'm
partner.
out.
Oh,
I
That's
am
your mom
out.
being bad.
I'm out. My partner should have told me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
We're leaving?
Yeah, we're
Wow.
leaving.
Yeah.
We're leaving. And
Well, guess what? You just got a new step parent because the moment you get divorced, they get back together.
Oh man, your partner's now your step parent.
that's probably happened in the history of time and space.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. Speaking of, our next game, are you a terrible parent?
Wow.
Mm.
Better or worse than that mom in the first one? Okay.
It's just my dad's story. You find out that your wife of 3 years had a 3-week affair with a guy she met at T-ball.
T-ball for adults.
T-ball for adults. Is this a dig at my kickball league?
I know, but I had to think of something that you're not currently playing to make it more exciting.
Okay, got it.
Your child, 7, has always hated your best friend for unclear reasons. You suspect it is out of jealousy since they want to be your best friend. So you come up with a plan to disguise your best friend as an elderly nanny, a la Mrs. Doubtfire, so they can watch your kid for the day. And once your kid is having a good time, your friend will take off their mask and reveal their true identity, thereby proving your kid actually likes them. Are you a terrible parent?
Yes, because if
Wow.
I was that kid, I would constantly, like, someone would do something and I'd be like, take off your mask. Who are you really?
Yeah. I would
Like,
think it would create that complex.
Yeah, I would be like, my kid would be at a theme park just ripping the heads off things. Being
Yeah.
like, are you my friend?
It's like the Mission Impossible problem where you have to feel everyone's necks to see if it's a fake mask.
Yes. Is that
Oh
known
my
as the Mission
God.
Impossible problem, or did you just make that
I
up?
think I made it up.
I like.
But
I
it-
mean,
I
it's,
love that.
Yeah.
But I will say, in the world of Mission Impossible, everyone seems to know that you can do that. And so why aren't more people checking people's necks?
I agree.
They're like falling
I
for
agree.
this all the time.
Number one rule: check your neck.
Check it out.
Check your neck.
Couple questions.
Yes.
When they're hanging out, your
Mhm.
best friend disguised as a nanny
Mhm.
and your kid.
Right.
What are they doing?
They are playing T-ball for kids.
The way T-ball's supposed to be played.
Okay, here's the thing, and I would, if my kid didn't like my best friend, I would side with my kid.
Really?
Yeah, because
Mm.
it feels like when like a dog growls at someone, it's like, what do you know that I don't know?
So if you had a kid and they didn't like me, you would cut me out?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's good you're going
Dang.
child free.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Why doesn't your child like your best friend or in this situation?
Well, so that's the thing. There's no real reason. They just go, they're annoying. They stink. They suck. I hate them.
Do they stink?
No, they're actually really lovely. I think
Mm.
it's like
No,
a
no, no,
jealousy
like,
thing.
do they smell bad?
No.
no.
They
Okay.
have. I recently bought deodorant. Just
Girl,
as aside.
what?
An aside.
What are you talking about?
Historically, I've never worn deodorant because for a long time I didn't smell, and then only one armpit smelled. So I thought, I'm cruising. But lately, I've realized I do smell. So I finally bought a deodorant, and I think it's working.
Who? What do you can't smell yourself.
Oh yeah, you can.
I always wear deodorant or some kind of something because if I'm not smelling myself, I feel like I don't know. I thought you couldn't really smell yourself and you got to take care of other people.
Well, I don't think. Have I ever smelled to you?
No, but you know what it is also is that your hair is it smells good from you washing it all the time, and it's so all encompassing that like even if your
Ooh.
armpits did smell bad, I would never know because your hair is like the main thing of you.
That's one of the best compliments I've ever been given.
Wow.
That's my truth. Wasn't even a
Ooh.
compliment. It's
Thank
just
you.
true.
Thank you. All right. So that was my deodorant update.
How
But no,
brave.
how brave. The best friend is actually really lovely and doesn't smell.
I think I'd be compelled to hang out with his best friend outside.
Yeah,
of-
without the kid.
Without the kid.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't know. That's where I'm going. I don't know if I'd cut him out. But
Also, my kid's so rude.
Yeah. You think you wouldn't have a rude kid?
It would be a family ties situation where I actually have a very uptight Republican
oh
child.
my God.
Sort of an Alex P. Keaton situation.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes. Okay.
Man.
All right. So that we're going terrible parent. Yeah. I mean, why does your kid need to hang out with your best friend? Like,
Yeah.
Also, you can't Mrs. Doubtfire your way out of all your problems.
but about half you can.
The Mission Impossible problem.
Right.
Okay. Our final game. Is this a date?
Mm.
You are in a divorce support group. So sorry. Everyone in the group tends to cry a lot.
Sure.
Other than you and this one other person who are mostly just mad. One day after a session, the non-crier asks if you want them to make a piñata of your ex-spouse so you two can hit it with bats. There will also be one of their ex. Is this a date?
Ooh, where are you doing it? Is it at the support group?
No, at their home.
Oh, at their home.
Yeah.
Why are they so good at piñatas?
They got a piñata guy.
What do you mean?
This
they got
guy,
a
this guy
piñata?
can turn anything into a piñata.
They got a piñata guy?
Yes, they do.
Wow. What
My
a flex.
sister's got a balloon guy. This person's got a piñata guy.
Your sister has a balloon guy?
She's got a balloon hookup. Some of the most incredible balloons I've ever seen.
What a flex. I've never heard of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, do I historically cry? Have I cried ever in my life?
Yeah, but like you go to the support group and everyone's crying all the time, but you guys are mostly just angry at your exes.
Yeah, but I can cry.
Yeah,
What evidence do I have that this other person can cry?
no evidence.
Exactly. So, sociopath.
Not at all the question. That was not what we were asking.
Um,
And that's very rude because a lot of people are on medications that make it hard for them to cry.
that's true.
Hmm.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm trying to catch you in whatever thing you're trying to catch me in. Is it going to be something where it's the same ex, and they're just trying to tell me that by bringing a piñata of?
No.
Okay, I'm not answering the question. I'm just trying to figure out what your angle
you're up
is.
to stuff. What
What's
do you
your
think?
angle?
Well, I'm thinking, how was this arranged? Like, how was it asked that, like, hey, let's, make these piñatas?
So after a group, you guys are like heading out and they're like, hey, I got this piñata guy.
Right.
Mm.
Would you be interested in sort of a piñata event with me?
Hmm.
I have aluminum bats.
Ooh,
Wow.
scary.
Some serious shit right there.
Those
Aluminum
are,
bats.
I think, illegal now.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, where?
Like, you can't use them in Little League.
No way.
I don't know
I
about
don't think
that.
that
I feel
that's
like I've
true.
seen, I just call them metal bats, but I guess they're made out of aluminum.
No, metal bats are illegal.
Really?
MLB and MLB teams are affiliated, can use wood bats only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, the pros use
the
wood
pros,
bats?
Pros
Yes,
use wood
you
bats.
cannot use an aluminum bat.
Right, for pros, but college and
piñatas.
under. Well, for piñatas, yeah.
There's no rules for piñatas.
No rules for piñatas. Those will do some damage.
No rules for piñatas. It's a date.
It's feeling like okay. One last thing. Is this like the first time they're talking after class? Like, was there
good
some sort of
question.
like, some sort of vibe going on?
No, like they've actually never spoken to anyone in the class until right now.
Serial killer.
Not the question.
What proof do I have that they're even divorced?
Because they had one of those ring tattoos where you get a
Everybody
ring
could have that.
tattooed.
Anybody could have that.
Shh, let me finish. And
Dexter
then
went to
slowly-
AA because he was trying to stop serial killing, but he pretended he was an alcoholic.
Okay, well, you know what? 5 years in, I'm done playing this game with you. I'm only playing it with the guests from now on.
But then there's no competitive element.
That's true. Melissa will be subbing in.
Come on. I sit in the corner with my back like a dunce, and they're like, "What happened to your co-host?" They're banned.
Yeah, they got a lifetime ban. Well, here's the thing. Big reveal.
Yes.
It was a date because when you hit the piñata of your ex, out falls formal stationery asking you out.
Oh, that's cute.
Very
yeah.
nice.
I actually would love that if
Yeah.
someone did
See?
that about my ex.
Yeah.
I actually
Okay.
would really like that.
That is that's nice.
Don't
That's
jump
nice.
ahead. Wait for the journey.
Feels very cathartic.
Right?
Yeah. I kind of want to do that. No, I'm okay. It's it's fine.
Make
it's
one
fine.
of my ex.
You should get it. You could make your wife a piñata and put something nice in it.
Yes, true. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say like make a piñata of my ex and then do that.
Oh, right.
But it feels a little too far. I mean, it's like
You're
my last ex was
already-
like 6 years ago.
What about a
so-
coworker you don't like currently?
Now that ooh.
That's,
I could do that. Yeah.
you remember when one of my exes made their ex a like a wooden dresser or something. And then when they broke up, the girl sent my ex a video of herself taking a metal bat to the dresser and destroying it.
What?
I don't remember that, but that's pretty epic.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I was like, wow, that's so threatening. Like, I'm so sorry, but in my head, I was like, that's so fucking funny.
Was this before or after Lemonade?
Oh, it was before.
Oh, good
Oh.
question.
It was before, but it was after I dug my key into the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
People were are waiting to exhale. I guess she explodes the car.
Mm.
People are doing property damage to their exes a lot. Actually,
What I did when left, I put all this stuff in a corner for him to get it, and then I put photos of us throughout the stuff so that he'd have to uncover them.
that
Over
is
time.
brilliant.
Wow,
That is
dang.
brilliant.
Yes.
You never told me that.
Wow.
That is so brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Holy shit. You're like, this is what you missed.
Yeah, because we had all these photos on the fridge of us and like
Right.
our happy life together, and I like kind of put them in his stuff
Like
for him
8
to discover.
years from now, he's gonna open a book and a photo of you is gonna fall out
I think I only put it like 1 or 2 places. I really should have like put it
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
So funny. I love that. I'm stealing that.
Thank you.
Just imagine him just being like, God damn it, another one.
That's so funny.
Well, this has been so fun. We can't wait to have you back in 5 more years.
Honestly, I hope it's shorter than that, but I also hope the show goes 5 more years.
Oh,
So,
thank you. We should do an anniversary show every year.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
why
right?
not?
I
Yeah.
love it.
We should appreciate each other more. Celebrate our anniversary every year.
We should.
Aw.
We have
What's-
our 10-year coming up.
I
Our
know.
YouTube 10-year.
What's 10 years? Diamonds? What is 10 years? No, 50 years is
like
diamonds.
wood?
What's wood?
I don't know.
I have to get you something wooden?
Maybe. Well, thank you so much for creating our show. Where can people find you and follow you and all the stuff you're doing now?
All right. Yeah. So there's my website, johnasante.com. Somehow that URL wasn't taken and I made that website last year.
Oh, that's
Wow.
amazing.
Lucked out. But I'm mostly on the gram at the John Asante, ASANTE, and Twitter or X, whatever the hell you call it, at JKB Asante. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Those are the main
Guys.
ones.
This is so circular. The traditional 10-year anniversary gift is aluminum.
Who would want anything
Wow.
aluminum from a romantic partner?
I don't know, but
So funny.
I'm
Okay,
getting
I'm
getting you a bat.
Yep.
Stick around after the break. We'll be talking all about 5 years from now. Ooh. Welcome back to Just Between Us. It's time for topics.
XXXXXX. Boop boop.
Baby. Oh, we got a fancy one.
A high one.
Okay, so we won't dive into this too much because it might fill us with existential dread. But where do we think that we'll be in 5 years?
We as in individuals or we as a podcast?
Let's do both.
Okay.
Or maybe we can say where we want to be in 5 years, not where our anxiety fears that we will be.
Okay.
I'll be almost 40, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably have a beard. I hope.
How long?
Just like a nice, like stubbly beard. Not like
Okay.
not like a Santa, but you know what I mean? Like just kind of like a roguish. Like maybe I'm
like scruff.
yeah, like a little roguish scruff.
I like a neatly trimmed full beard.
Do you like it like perfectly manicured?
Yeah.
Though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
I
you
could do
you're
that.
you're thinking that or more scruffy?
No. Probably. I mean, I don't want like a. If it turns out the beard hair is sort of fluffy, I don't want it. So we'll see, and maybe I'll have more like I'll be built or something.
Oh.
These are just physical, and then also like okay, I'll have finished my movie. I'll have maybe been like almost done on a second movie. That would be cool
Ooh.
for this podcast. I hope like there's a technology where the podcast is just directly into your mind. And maybe we don't have to, okay, We don't even have to record it. We just think thoughts,
I
and then
don't
we
want
can
that.
put it directly
5
into.
years is too short for that.
We all live in space.
In 5 years?
Yeah. And okay, so climate change did some bad stuff, and now we're recording in space.
You think that we're in like the first bunch of people that get to go to space,
Definitely. Well, it's a lottery system.
and we all three of us got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have to bring our families?
Yeah. Can our families come?
Well, no.
I'm not
Then I'm not going.
You guys are losers. I'm out of here.
What about you?
So we're doing physical first.
Yeah, do physical first.
I didn't mean to. I'm trans.
My ass will be extra fat.
Ooh.
I love that. Good.
Do you do a lot of squats?
Oh yeah, and I got a personal trainer now. Shout out to Alex. Not
Interesting.
You got a personal
I did.
trainer?
Yeah,
Wow. And they come in person?
we do virtual.
Virtual.
Yeah, because I got a gym at my house, so I don't
Wow.
have to go anywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll look great.
Do you think you'll be taller?
I thought that as well.
I won't be taller. I don't want to. I like
I
to be
don't-
the size that I am.
I have no desire to be taller.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to improve with age. There's no doubt about
mhm.
that.
Yeah, you're gonna age like a fine wine.
And then mentally, I hope I'm in a lot better place than I am right now. I see myself. My mom is currently interviewing for a job in Santa Barbara, and I feel like that'll get me closer to Oprah because
Oh,
Oprah basically lives there in Montecito.
Montecito, right?
And so they'll become friends naturally.
right.
I feel like they're the same person as it is anyway. And then I'll be invited to Oprah's Easter that she has every year. So I'll be 4 years in at that point. And career wise,
That's not career. You're just friends with Oprah?
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
social.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was like, and then what does Oprah do for your career? Nothing. She's just your friend.
She's just my friend. I mean,
Okay.
I might have a few shows on OWN, but
Okay, work.
or I will be working on General Hospital, and I will also have a child.
Ah. Cool.
Just one.
Just, I mean,
Preston.
We'll see.
Preston Diamond.
Yeah, maybe more. We're supposed to go in a pregnancy pact together. You could join in, but you don't want to have
I was
kids.
going to say, go where I can't follow.
You can, but you
You
just
can.
don't want to.
No, I don't have a period.
Yeah, but you could go off T,
No, thanks.
or you could adopt,
Yeah.
or you
Yeah.
could surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
You could steal.
I could also have a wife.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe Gabe has a wife. You guys don't know. Maybe in 5 years, Gabe has a wife.
That would be lovely.
You didn't say that in
You
your
didn't
5-year
say it,
plan,
yeah.
so we couldn't.
No, I didn't say it.
Do you like in your heart? Do you feel like you will ever have a wife?
I don't know. It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
Like, part of me is like, maybe that's just not for me. Maybe and I mean wife spiritually, like a spouse, like a partner, a spiritual wife. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, maybe that's not the thing.
I think you will. I'm gonna put it on the record.
You think I'll have specifically a wife?
I was going to say,
Oh.
specifically a wife or just spouse?
Spouse.
I might have a wife.
You might have a wife, but I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say this sort of thing. I think there's a higher chance you'll have a husband
Interesting.
because of just you seem to be more into the gay scene than.
Or here's what's funny is I get a girlfriend. This has happened to me many times. I get a girlfriend. I'm like, I got a girlfriend. Turns out, trans guy.
Well, there you go.
Mhm.
There you go.
A wife that becomes a husband, if you will.
But I think that in 5 years, I do think you will have a long-term partner. Whether or not you're legally married, I think you will have a long-term partner.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
Maybe.
just me.
I often am like, maybe it's a wife. Maybe it's just a house with a wife.
I think that'd be so lovely.
She's just a trad
You have a
wife.
trad wife?
I have a trad wife.
You should. Why
No,
not?
nobody wants a trad wife.
What
No.
do you mean?
A trad wife is its own thing, but I think I would have like maybe I'll just have sort of like a girly who wants to be a 19. If you're listening to this and you're looking for sort of a 1950s housewife existence, but maybe the little guy, the Don Draper, is trans, let me know.
So trad wife has a negative connotation,
Negative connotation.
above just being a traditional
Yeah,
homemaker.
yeah.
Okay, well I rescind my comment.
But you're saying I marry a homemaker.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think you would more likely marry like an artist of some kind.
Ooh, fun. She's a homemaker, but I let her paint in her spare time.
But like she's like, like always crafting. Like she has a
I
craft
know who
room.
it is.
Who?
Have you watched Grace and Frankie?
I've seen it.
Frankie. So
Yeah.
Lily Tomlin's character.
Oh my God,
That's
I'd love to
exactly-
marry Lily
Oh,
Tomlin.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I'll marry an older woman,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
and she's got money. That's why she can stay home and craft.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you looking for an older rich person?
I know.
That's a great idea for
Thank you.
Honestly, for both of you. I've fucked up.
John is actually who found an older rich person.
By 4 months. Okay, my turn. Can I just speak what I hope happens rather than
Yeah,
what I think
whatever.
will happen?
No. What do you hope?
I hope that I have become the biggest, I hope I'm the new Emily Henry, where I'm
can
like
see
the
that.
biggest rom-com book author out there. Whatever book I put out, people are buying it. Goodreads, hundreds of thousands of reviews.
Yeah.
Multiple adaptations into
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
maybe a TV show.
Yeah. I think that'll happen.
Really?
I can
Yes.
see that.
That would be amazing for
Yeah.
me.
I think so.
I can see you on the Today Show with Hoda.
Oh my.
I see it.
And then I put out a book a year.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm
And then you become the rich friend that we
Yeah, exactly. No, here's what happens.
Can I fund
Allison-
your project?
you project
Yes.
and then we go on vacations all the time.
Oh,
Yes.
that would be great.
Well, I was also saying, my thought was she moves into another tier. She starts meeting rich people. She introduces
find you
me to my wife.
financiers. Oh, and to your wife.
And to my wife.
Yeah.
That would be really great.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think that's my main goal. I
that's
mean,
great. Very achievable.
Mhm.
Well, we'll see. We'll see come early 2025.
I believe in you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're gonna have a baby.
Well, that's one of those things you never know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But I think, especially if I'm rich, then I have one child who's very well behaved, but also has a great sense of humor.
That I think you can do.
Yeah. I think your parents did a great job with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that kid's gonna be so spoiled by the grandparents. Holy
Oh, I
crap!
know. My mom has baby fever.
My mom always has baby fever.
I think she leaned over to me and went, "I want a baby."
Yeah.
My
Not-
mom said, I want grandchildren. I said, you have 6.
She has so many,
Yeah.
but it's different. She wants your grandkid.
Yeah.
My parents don't care.
Do we think that the show will still exist in 5 years?
That's what I'm saying. We'll be recording from space.
I think it'll be a different type of show.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the same thing. I don't know what the even podcasting will be. by
Exactly.
Oh
then.
yeah.
Maybe it turns into like a talk show.
Oh
Yeah, like we don't even know.
I feel like JBU in some form will exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just between us content, regardless of the medium or the
Yeah.
type or
Yeah.
the thing, will continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
might not be here.
Well, you're on General Hospital.
I understand, but I just mean like
You're
if
very
there's no
busy.
podcast, where am I?
Oh.
You're very busy. You're working on General Hospital and you have 2 kids.
Now we're adding another one in.
Yeah.
And you have an incredible ass.
A real fat ass.
And I have a beard and a wife.
So what do we rate these last 5 years?
Oh my God.
5 years?
Yeah,
Oh
let's
my
do it.
God.
Let's do it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Like a 10.5 out of 10. We're barely scooching over 10.
I completely disagree. I'm gonna give 1,000 out of 1.
Really?
Yeah, like this show is awesome. I'm glad that y'all fired me and then hired me again.
We did not fire you. You refused to take a full-time position.
I think that y'all are great hosts. I think that y'all really reach out and touch the people of the world. I think that y'all are lights, like angel and devil, and you're also devilish too. You are also angelish too. I'm pointing to Allison is also devilish and Gabe is also angelic. I think y'all play well off each other. Very funny. I really enjoy working with y'all. And I enjoy being your friends more. And I love that this has grown into like y'all are 2 of my best friends too.
Thanks.
All of that is very mutual.
Yeah, it is.
Thank God our show got canceled so we could hire you back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm on the Melissa train. I'm going positive here. I'm
I
really
did
proud.
0.5 of positive.
Okay. You said we were barely scraping by.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
not the
think this.
show.
I feel like I was gonna say the show is,
Wait. I was talking about me personally. The show itself,
the show is doing better than ever.
a billion out of 0.
Oh, wow. I give it 162 out of 7 because I think we have talked to like some of the most fascinating people
Oh
ever.
my God, I know.
Yeah.
We have like discussed things that have made me think about the world differently. I feel like we have had like kind of a responsibility as people with a platform that I feel like we've gotten better at managing.
Mm.
And I also just like love that you're my coworkers. Like most of my life is pretty solitary, and then this is the fun part.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I meant my life. Our lives together, stellar.
When our powers combine.
Exactly. We run a funeral home. Deep cut.
Thank you all so much for listening.
And thank you to John Asante for being our guest.
We will be back for years to come.
That's a threat.
Just Between Us is a Gallison production, hosted by me, Allison Raskin,
And me, Gabe Dunn.
produced by Melissa D. Montz and Diamond Imprint Productions,
Edited by Coco Lorenz.
and production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Brendan Burns composed our killer theme music.
Join our Patreon to watch full episodes and listen ad-free. The link is in the description.
And make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Discord, and Reddit.
We're everywhere.
Patreon, baby.